reducing emails and phone calls by half by creating virtual work orders using Google Docs on the cloud by Steve Hoogenakker on behalf of Community Associations Institute. So how are we going to reduce emails and phone calls by half? Well, we'll have to deal with the problem that causes many of the emails and phone calls, and that is the tiny work order. The work order where a homeowner calls property manager with a problem, and the back and forth start involving many people, many days to complete each problem. The stress level goes up by these problems. Nobody knows what's going on. So we've got to figure out a better way to handle this. There's got to be a more efficient way. But what way is that? The problem is a bad work order system. The work order system that we use now is slow, it's not transparent, and it's very inefficient. It causes property managers to drown in their emails and phone calls. Unhappy board members, unhappy homeowners, missed work orders, poor response by the contractors, and many, many days to get the work order completed and the information back to the people who care most about it. To do this, we've got to get the information where everybody can see it at the same time. We've got to get it above the earth in the clouds, on the internet, where people can see it, whether they be in Boston, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, or Paris, France. In a perfect world, it would be great if we could make these work orders visible to all interested parties. The other thing is, right now, work orders are available, or information is available from your property manager 9 to 5. Or, in many cases, the property manager ends up working evenings, answering emails and phone calls till 7 or 9 p.m. at night. A very inefficient way, creates a lot of burnout, and there's no record of all these work orders in the next place. So we've got to come up with a strategy to take care of the whole work order process and the whole work process. But what is the answer? What is the solution? I think we have one here that'll work, and it's using Google Docs. The information goes on the cloud or on the internet. This short seminar will show you each step along the way, and it's free. The scenario is a broken sprinkler head causing flooding at a townhome unit. Say the homeowner works during the days, notices when they get back that the lawn is flooded out, and they're very concerned about their basement and whether it's flooding out, and it could cause a lot of damage. So in this typical example, it might take 10 days to complete. And what do I mean by 10 days? Well, 10 days would be from the time the homeowner actually calls the board or the person responsible at the association to getting the work done and to completing the work order and getting information back to the property manager. That's what I mean by 10 days. Using the on the cloud example, the work gets done faster, everyone is notified immediately, and the need for emails and phone calls are dropped dramatically. How many steps should it take to complete a work order? It seems like it should just be call the contractors, the contractor does the work, and the contractor submits the bill. But that's not the way it works in real life. In real life, we're dealing with people. And when we're dealing with people, the variables are infinite. It's more like 10 steps to get the work order completed, and we'll go through each one of these steps briefly. But it can involve many people, like one or more homeowners, one or more board members, or the entire board, one or more committee members if you've got a grounds maintenance committee. It involves the property manager. It could involve the property manager's office staff or property manager's assistant. On the contractor's side, you've got the customer rep, you've got the production manager where the work goes to, the production personnel who do the work, and then the contractor's office staff do the billing and printing of the work orders. That's 10 people for each work order. Here are the 10 steps or so that it takes to get a work order complete, and we'll go through these briefly and what's happening. First, we start off with a broken sprinkler head. The broken sprinkler head is flooding the lawn during the day. The homeowner's gone during the day, notices it the next morning, doesn't have time to hang around to wait to see if the problem is going to get fixed. Very concerned, even though it's a minor problem, maybe a 10-minute fix, it just ruins the homeowner's day. So worried about what they have for personal possessions. So what do? They call the board president or someone on the board and let them know what's going on. When the board finds the information, the next day the board member calls the property manager to report the flooding sprinkler. So we're on day 2 or 3. Damage could be occurring, we don't know. Day 3, the property manager calls or emails the sales rep at the landscape company. Let them know what's going on. Days 3 to 4, the sales rep writes up the work order for the irrigation department and it goes out in the field the next 2 or 3 days. Meanwhile, the homeowner is starting to call the board to verify that they're at least working on it. And now the confusion starts. The vendor just got the information a day or so early, so he doesn't know why people are stressed out. The board member and the homeowner have no feedback yet, and the property manager has forwarded the information onto the vendor like he was supposed to. So everything should be handled, right? Well, days 5 to 7, the techs get out to the field, they repair the broken sprinkler head. The homeowners may be gone, so even though there may be dirt in the yard showing that someone was digging, they still don't know if the work was completed yet. Meanwhile, they're still waiting and getting more uptight as we go. So days 6 to 8, the tech fills out the work order or the invoice. They turn it in to the salesperson in most organizations. The salesperson reviews the work order and determine if it's billable or just needs to be sent back out. And the property manager at this point is worrying about the calls. Still hasn't found out any information whether it's done, and the homeowner and the board members are now a little perturbed about this taking so long. Now we're on day 8. Well, the sales rep mails out the invoice to the property manager instead of calling because it's an irrigation head. It's a $40 or $50 repair. It's not a major repair. There's no need to do that. Day 10, the property manager receives the invoice for the sprinkler repair, puts one in the copy in the file for the next board meeting to be paid. Meanwhile, the board member may call the homeowner to see if the flooding is still occurring. Homeowner says, well, it looks better, but I still can't tell. I haven't been home. I don't know if it's been done yet. So questions abound. Day 11, the board representative might have received the email from the manager. The board member might even tell the homeowner, if you're lucky, but who knows whether it's done. It's been almost 2 weeks. Even though the work order was done, you've had countless phone calls and emails back and forth, and the most up-to-date information is only available to one person at a time. There has to be a better way. You put the information on the cloud, in the internet, using Google Docs. Using Google Docs, the information is available to anyone in the world that you make available to. The problem with the last scenario is that the information is linear. It's like being in a tunnel. It's only available to one person at a time. The simple work order took 9 to 10 steps, involved 6 to 9 emails, postage, and mail costs for invoicing. Very, very inefficient. On the cloud, the information is available to every party 24 hours, 7 days a week. The information can be updated daily, hourly, or immediately. Information can be entered and sent to the field, knocking 1 to 2 days off the work order. This is especially a great thing to happen if your production personnel have Blackberries and computers in the field. So what is the cloud? It's an electronic place, as I said, online, available to anyone with the right email address that you invite. It's available 24/7, it's secure, and it's objective. And we use it because anyone can modify it and update it any time. A record is kept of all work orders online, and it's free and easy to set up. And there'll be a link coming up next that'll have a video that'll take you step by step through the process.